Today I would like to walk you through some of the basic steps to prepare your Toro PowerPlex chainsaw to cut wood. The first thing to do anytime you're servicing the saw is to always remove the battery. The next item we want to check is the chain. Check it for sharpness and or damage. Anytime you're working with a chain, it is best to wear gloves to avoid cutting or nicking your fingers. If you look at this chain, you can see that the points are good and sharp. The edges are crisp. You can release the chain brake and roll the chain around to check the whole chain. This is a new chain, so this is how a good chain should look. On this saw, we have a used chain. And if you look here, you can see that the corner of the cutting tooth is chipped off. You can also see that the points on these teeth are rounded. A chain that is sharp and cutting well will have nice, clean, larger chips. It will not take effort to saw. The weight of the saw will drive the chain down through the log. The saw with the dull chain will have a finer particle, almost more like sawdust, and will take a lot of effort, so it makes sawing much more difficult. This chain needs to be replaced or sharpened before it's used. The next item we want to check is the bar grooves and the oil passages. To do that, we remove the chain cover as well as the bar and chain. On this saw, I have already removed the bar and chain for this inspection. This is the oil passage from the saw that feeds oil to the bar to lubricate the chain. This cavity here can fill up with oily debris and chips. That needs to be cleaned out to get a good flow of oil. This is the chain lube that's coming from the reservoir that you fill on the other side. The other item to check is the grooves in your bar. To do that, I'm using a paper clip today. You put the wire down into the groove and you start to pull, and you can see the dirt that's coming out of that groove, and it's oily wood chips. Getting rid of that will get a better flow of oil through the bar groove and to the chain. The other area to check is back here, and this is the oil passage where the oil feeds up and into the groove. You want to run the wire down through that to clean that hole so that the oil can pass there. When cleaning this, always start at the sprocket and pull all the way to the back end so that you're pulling the dirt away from the sprocket nose. Do that on both sides. The last item to check on the bar is the nose sprocket, and that should turn freely and not be binding or rough. Another item that we want to check before we go out is the function of the chain brake. The chain brake set, put the battery in, and now when we activate the chainsaw should not function. You can see this one does not do that. Next step is to release the chain brake. Now we're going to run the saw and activate the brake, and it should stop. So you can see that this chain brake is functioning properly. To go on and complete the maintenance, again, we're going to remove the battery. We want to check the oil for oil level. There is a gauge on the side here. When the saw is setting upright, you can see how full the reservoir is. You remove the cap from the oil reservoir, and this is chain and bar oil. You pour in there and to fill it up to go out and have adequate oil. If you run a chain out of oil, you will see the chain get loose very quickly. You'll also see the chain turning blue and the bar turning blue from the high heat that's generated from lack of lubrication. Those are some basic tips to help you get your Toro PowerPlex chainsaw ready to go. If you have any additional questions or need more information, please consult your operator's manual or go to toro.com. Thank you and have a good day.